Raise your hand, stand up.
Come on, somebody's got a question.
Anybody? There's one.
I got a question for all of you. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
No, I don't need a mic.
Yeah, it's fine.
Just a quick question.
Hi.
Can y'all promise to slow things down and stop just jumping on every variance that comes to the council? Oh yeah, we gotta do that. Can y'all just promise to slow it down? That's my question.
I will answer for myself and I'll pass it off. Absolutely. And that's part of the getting, until we have that comprehensive master plan in place. What's the point of having a code if every variance that is asked for is granted? It makes no sense. We should be able to look at the master plan, and then even the developer, before they even make a proposal, should look and say, okay, that doesn't fit here. I'm not going to propose it. A strip center, 4-acre apartment complex, and townhomes on Elm Street doesn't make sense. Let's not propose that. So yeah, absolutely. I would certainly put a moratorium on as much as we can until we come together and update everything. Anybody else?
I'm with Mike. We can't. There's so much to fix right now. We can't accept anymore. So the city's pushing so hard. Unfortunately, prior to May, we have to. Yeah, there's too much to fix. There's things that have to slow down. So yeah, I am for slowing things down.
You said that a while ago.
Yes.
Before they took off. I was just saying that it's to slow down this growth.
Yeah.
Don't make it a runaway train.
Yeah.
I also agree. I think it needs to be slowed down. One of the big things, like you said, I do not like granting variances to existing code. I think if we're sitting here granting variances every time we turn around, that means there's something wrong with the code in the first place. We need to adjust it, need to get it right. And so, yes, we definitely need to slow stuff down.
I agree with you on slowing things down from the perspective that most of the variances that have been asked for are benefiting the developer and benefiting an outsider coming in to change things. They're not offering a benefit to Blanco. And I believe that a variance is designed because there would be an intrinsic benefit to the community. That's what a variance is designed for. It's not designed for everybody that comes from the outside and thinks they need special treatment. And they're not entitled to it. And personally, I'm pretty tired of everything getting tabled when it comes down to making a hard decision. And I definitely have the spine to say no. And if it makes them unhappy, they can go back and make an acceptable proposal. It's already been zoned, it's already been designed, and they're just asking for special treatment. The answer is no to them, for me.
A lot of the folks in positions of leadership here seem to be the tail of the dog. They're not. They just, oh, they're so nice. I don't want to hurt their feelings, so I think we'll say yes. I mean, I'm not making that up. I'm not making that. And we're talking stuff here that will forever radically change the face of our town. I've mentioned this. It's called Seven Oaks Development. If you're not familiar with it, that right behind the Catholic Church, that big field. And some connecting properties there. The folks that own that came along, and they want to. It's zoned medium density residential, meaning there's nothing we can do about it. They can build 63 or 64 houses there, which is a lot of houses. There's really no access. You're not supposed to drive through CJ's to get over there, or the Catholic Church parking lot. They could have changed it. That's pretty smart. But they came and made a proposal. They want to put 125 some odd living units, a 4-acre apartment complex, a stone's throw from the river right there on Elm Street, a commercial strip center behind the Catholic Church, and townhomes, all kinds of stuff back there. There is just no infrastructure. There's a finite number of utility hookups we can do forever that makes sense. At some point, the next toilet costs $1 million to add, And so this makes it'll ruin that part of town. It will destroy those roads. There's no access there. And they're like, oh, but they want to do it. Oh, they're nice people. You know what? My answer is no. You can do your 63, you can do your 64 houses. If you want more than that, you have to say why it's worth our while. right?
But they're giving you an acre for
Oh.
City Hall.
Oh, they're giving us, no, they haven't given anything yet.
And the parkland.
No, parkland, it's a ditch.
Oh.
Yeah. and there's a question of who even owns that ditch, but if they wanted to do more than 63, 64, yeah, it's got to be what's in it for us. We need someone that can go head to head, negotiate, say, okay, we'll let you do a few more on the backside, but to do that, you're going to have to repave Mesquite Street, you're going to have to repave Elm Street, you're going to have to fix the Elm Street Bridge, and we'll let you do, 10 townhomes on the backside. That's it. I mean, that's how you deal with folks like that. You don't just bend over. I mean, but we do now. But these things are slowing down. If we don't, by May, this could be done. We could be toast if they approve that. So, yes, ma'am.
So a while back ago, the truck stop came into town. Once the truck stop came into town, town started getting bigger. It also kind of decreased the property values with around the area, as you know, truck stops. And then somewhere in there was a loophole, and somebody got a Tractor Supply. Okay, well, Tractor Supply took down a couple other big places around here, a home mom, hardware stores and things, And so I want to know, what's the plan on stopping anybody else from coming here? I don't want to see H-E-B here. I don't want to see Walmart here. I don't want to see those things coming in. Tractor Supply's already got here, which means somebody's already got that little thing. And so what is y'all's plan to stop? Can y'all control that? Can y'all stop that? Are y'all against that? Are y'all for that? Because I don't want to live in a town where Walmart's at. I don't want to live in H-E-B. Not that I don't love H-E-B, but I'm willing to drive 20 miles to I don't want it in the middle of town. I don't want to see Lowe's get run out of town. I don't want to see a local mom and pop business get run out of town because someone wants to put a damn Chili's over there in Casey's. I don't want to see that kind of things happen. I don't want to see the big chains come into this town. And that's what I'm concerned about. I understand development. I understand growth. I understand that we need to build some housing, but we need affordable housing for people that can live in this town. When I got here, the median house price for the houses was about $129. Median house price. I don't know what it is right now. I haven't bothered to look. But it's just getting up there, man. Everything we let come in here just brings things up. People are like, you should be having your property values. I go, well, the hell I am. I'm not moving. You know what I mean? So all I'm doing is paying more taxes. So I really don't want to see anything bigger come in here and do this to us. So where do y'all stand on that? I grew up in a small town in Texas. And so where I grew up, it was a small town, smaller than that. It's called Raleigh. It is now the George Bush toll road. It's no longer a town. It's gone. And so that's the only reason I'm now involved or want to know what's going on and what we're allowing and what we're going to allow. So where do y'all stand when it comes to that? The big corps coming here. I want to see small mom and pop businesses thrive. I don't want to see us turn into Fredericksburg where we're just parking sideways to get into town because we've got 1 million bed roses out here. I don't want to see that too much either. I'd like to see a simple growth along the lines of families and homes and communities and people that still come together, that their top priority are the kids in this town. We have the best football, we have the best schools as far as I'm concerned. I raised my children here, I raised my grandchildren here, and I want to see it stay the same. I want to see it where the kids can go into the town at nighttime and hang out if they want to without fear or threat of a semi rolling through at 90 miles an hour.
So,
Yes,
thank
that's
you.
my concerns.
Thank you, yeah. And there'll be another election in 1 year, and I hope you'll sign up to run for city council.
I will not.
We could use it. So I'll hit this briefly, and then Ryan. I agree. Now, at the same time, the city only has so much control. If somebody comes in that fits the existing zoning and then hits the setbacks, we can't stop that, generally. Now, there's some things that are favoring those big companies now. I mentioned our complicated code. Remember that single wide that went up on Main Street a couple years ago? Everybody's like, what the heck is that doing there, right? They found a loophole. In our code, it said a developer can use a temporary office for selling land for a new development. Well, anybody reading that would think that their development was 10 miles away. They'd think that portable building was 10 miles away, but their attorneys said, look, it doesn't say where that building needs to be. And their attorneys beat the city down and got that on Main Street because our code was so complicated and convoluted. The guy in charge of enforcing our code says he doesn't even understand it. It's that complicated and convoluted. So that only helps us. So it's streamlining, simplifying that, empowering our local mom and pops to thrive, where there's no room for the other companies to come in. It is one side of that.
But can y'all stop them?
Now, here's what I think is the best way, because yes and no. You can't, they come in, they buy it, and they're within the zoning and the setbacks. We can't stop that. But here's what I think it's beyond debate at this point. We need an alternate route for Blanco. The traffic in 10 years' time is going to be devastating. It already is bad. And the state has been trying to get us to look at this for a long, long time. The people here have been obstructing it. They've been running in circles. No one's grabbing the bull by the horns. We have a window of opportunity to determine where it is, what it looks like, where the exits are, and all that stuff. You see, anything outside of our ETJ we can't control. They can come in and I heard they're looking at putting a Buc-ee's at 32 and 281. And there's nothing we can do about that. It's outside of our control. Where that rock house is, that's the latest I've heard. But, so here's what I believe we can and should do. We secure the alternate route where we want it, not too far out, tie up the taxing power on the sides of that. Then if there's anything that's more commercial, put it out there. Keep it out of the city center. Keep it out of what we know today as Blanco. Let's let them build over there, because we can't stop them anyway. But if we do that, we can tax them. Then we can have all the nice things without being a burden to our taxpayers here. We can't stop them from putting a Buc-ee's. We can't stop them from putting HEB outside of our ETG. We can't stop them. And because we can't stop it, we can make good use of that. It's not a bad. My wife grew up in Live Oak in San Antonio. Outside their city proper, there was a Walmart that came in. And guess what? They now have the best swimming pool, the best roads, the best police, and all that stuff because the taxes from that, and it didn't affect their town. It's in a perfect world, we could pick up Blanco and drop it in the middle of nowhere. We're not able to do that. So the question is, how do we emerge on top of this wave that's coming our way and not be the next Spring Branch? They tried to stop it. Not be the next Bulgaria. They tried to stop it. But there's not too many good examples of towns that have made it through. But we can be a good example. If we push them outside of the city center, get them off of Main Street, get them a couple miles away as an insulating barrier that benefits us but doesn't impact us too much. That's the only way I see to really make it work. It's in a perfect world, we can freeze it, we can't. We just have to make the most of it. Right?
That's a great question, Aisha. So what I have to answer about that is there is a committee that was formed here recently by the city, and they've put together something that I, at the Historical Commission, am fighting as a whole right now. It's called the 281 Corridor Overlay. It's an interesting plan. They've put a lot of work and a lot of money into it. There are some very interesting aspects to it. They do deal with that issue that you're talking about. A few of the things I like about the overlay, one of them is the block structure. They're from the river north up to 15th Street at least. We're looking at overlaying ordinance over what exists. That part I don't like. I think the entire UDC needs to be rebuilt. The Historic Commission just voted at our last meeting to update the Comprehensive Master Plan and the Historic Preservation Action Plan. So the overlay will be considered as a part of that, but I'm not promoting the overlay as a whole. But the block structure that it is representing says that any future development has to exist on a 275 foot by 275 foot block structure. And there must be roads every 275 foot. That structure will not allow for any large box store to be moved into this town. So that part of the overlay, we plan on building into the new comprehensive master plan because there is some good aspects to it. The overlay as a whole, we are against because all it's going to do is add layers of complication on top of the rules that we already have. we're gonna nullify a whole bunch of the rules that we already have, especially like with the historic district downtown. They essentially came in and the rules are completely different from what we have already, and because of, if they overlay over top of it, that will supersede any rules that we have existing already. So that part we're fighting pretty heavily, but there is some definite aspects to the overlay that we like, and that is one of them. And that is also the goal of that block structure, is to keep large box stores out of here. Big, huge parking lots.
I wanted to also add that I like where you're going with that, because you're describing a town that can be written by codes, and you're saying not only what Blanco is, but what Blanco is not. And so that's part of what I was asking earlier, is to please describe what Blanco isn't, because all of those things can be translated into the codes and can be translated into the administrative work that we are going to do to help protect Blanco. Yeah.
I can't say any more than what they've said. I can't trump that.
Yeah, we're actually a pretty good team.